The Los Angeles Lakers and the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to battle for a spot in the conference finals, and that will be a fantastic series between LeBron James, Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves on one side, and the team that's been dominating the NBA for at least the last couple of seasons on the other. And this will also be an amazing battle between two great coaches like JJ Redick and Mark Daigneault. So there's a lot to enjoy, a lot to analyze, but before that, a quick reminder that you can find in the description some useful links, such as my Patreon page, my Instagram page, and my exclusive course on how to level up as a basketball player. Then you can support this channel by becoming a premium member and unlocking the full podcast episodes. But you can also support us by interacting with this video. But that said, let's get into the real topic with the Lakers that will miss Luka Doncic for at least some games, and that could cause us some ball handling issues with this team, since the Thunder are simply amazing at forcing turnovers, running in transition, and overall winning the possession battle. That's why we might see OKC trying to force the ball out of Austin Reeves and LeBron James's hands. They'll be realistically guarded by Jalen Williams and Luguentz Dort, and in the absence of J-Dub, Cason Wallace will probably step up in his defensive role, with Alex Caruso ready to take this task off the bench. But as I was saying, OKC might try to force the ball out of the Lakers' superstars' hands to try to make someone like Marcus Smart organize the play, and that would definitely not be a great thing for JJ Redick and his team. So he should try to avoid this and utilize Smart as a floor spacer, especially in the corners, and I'll tell you why. The Thunder typical pick and roll coverage concedes some open shots, especially from the corners, and LeBron James and Luka Doncic could have a crucial role in their offense, especially in finding their teammates in the weak side corners when playing the pick and rolls with DeAndre Ayton and Jackson Hayes. Doncic in particular figured that out in the series against the Oklahoma City Thunder 2 years ago, when he was playing with the Dallas Mavericks, and Derrick Jones Jr. and PJ Washington's three-point percentages from the corners were what made the biggest difference in that series. And that's the reason why the Slovenian's return could be very important for the Lakers. Now, there are obviously some big differences between having Luke Kennard or Jared Vanderbilt in the corner, but these are differences that you can pay on the defensive end. One of the reasons why Kennard didn't play much with Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic when they were on the court is because you can't afford to have these three players all together on the court on the same defensive end, especially if the other two are LeBron James and DeAndre Ayton. And in this series, if you're not a great defender, OKC will do everything in their power to hunt you on mismatches and make you switch on Shai Gilgeous-Alxander, and that's why I think that two players are going to be the real X factors of this series, and they are Marcus Smart and Rui Hachimura, just like Jones Jr. and Washington were in the last playoff series lost by OKC. They could not be targeted on defense with mismatches, just like the two former Dallas Mavericks players. And they're also players who can have some great shooting nights, despite maybe not being the most consistent shooters in the world. In the regular season, when they were both starters against the Thunder, they both shoot 45% from three, and that's not something random in my opinion. But in regular season matchups, OKC is also 4-0 against the Lakers. They even won by a big margin in some games, so matchup-wise, this might be a really tough series for JJ Redick's team, and he'll need to think out of the box to keep his team into the series. His biggest doubt might be, do I want Shai to score most of the point and keep the other players off this series, or do I try to make Shai score the least amount of points and bet on the supporting cast's percentages? If he goes with the first option, he might set up a switching man-to-man defense, so conceding mismatches and daring the MVP candidate to win the games by himself with isolations, which could be a decent strategy. But if he goes with the second option, which is particularly doable in the first games without Jalen Williams, I expect something like a box and one with SGA top locked, or I expect blitzes and some hard edges on pick and rolls when he handles the ball, and the defense is in a man-to-man coverage. And in this last case, with the Lakers defense that will obviously be in rotation as it happens with aggressive coverages, I think that the closeouts will be extremely different depending on the Thunder player about to shoot. And you might think that this is something ordinary, but I mean, taking this concept to the extreme, I think that the Lakers players will jump on closeouts and be super aggressive on players like Isaiah Joe, Jared McCain, and Aaron Wiggins, for example, to purposely take away the outside shot, get beaten off the dribble, help, and force the ball out for a wide open 3-point shot taken by someone like Luguentz-Dort, Alex Caruso, Kenrich Williams, and even Chet Holmgren. But to avoid this, Coach Daigneault could give more minutes to players like Cason Wallace, Aaron Wiggins, AJ Mitchell, who are good shooters that can be very solid on the defensive end too. So I'm very excited to see this coaching battle. I'm very excited to see this series in general. My prediction is 4-1 for OKC, but I'm not sure at all about this. If there's one thing that Daigneault is not very good at, is making adjustments and reading the opposing coaches' moves. So if Redick finds the right formula, it might take some games for the Thunder coach to adjust and to respond. And you can't always afford to lose some games in a playoff series, especially at this stage, but we'll see what happens. And that was all for today. Thank you for watching. After these videos, I'll publish the series analysis that I haven't done yet. So turn the notification bell on to not miss a single video. And with that said, see you in the next one.